Hey guys, Gunstar here with my Woodman brethren, not literally this guy, Matty J.
We are Woodman brethren. We're also birthday brethren.
Yes, we are. February 24th, best day, double birthday.
Double birthday, right here.
Fantastic.
You're looking at it.
And we're here in Pittsburgh today. We went to the Pittsburgh Retro Gaming Convention that Matty J and 8-Bit Evolution put on. I came down for it because, well, frankly, as you know, I like 8-Bit Evolution, I like Matty J. I like conventions, this specifically of the retro gaming kind. So there's a lot of cool stuff there. They had a lot of good vendors. I
was there.
You were there. You were automatically the best part. You went on the Mountain Dew experience that we gave for Scott, also known as Grumsy42.
Yeah.
Which was phenomenal. Met some other cool YouTubers as well that I will be a couple of them are gonna plug later on in the video, but we'll get to that at the end. And of course, I got to pick up some really cool stuff, which I'm going to talk about. Matty J's going to throw his 2 or 3 or 777.
That's a lot of sense.
It's a lot of sense.
So much sense.
It is.
I'm going to make it rain pennies.
By the way, if you want to check out Matty J's channel at any point, we actually did a part 1 with all of his pickups and cool stuff too, which you should definitely check out. But anyway, so first two things. Check it out. First two things I picked up of the day were a couple of Saturn imports. They are games, surprisingly, they came out in America, which I usually don't, but they were cheap, and I'm a fighting game fan, I want them. So this is Galaxy Fight and Last Bronx. Last Bronx being a Sega-based fighter. Sunsoft put out Galaxy Fight. Last Bronx is a 3D fighter. Galaxy Fight's a 2D fighter. This one's got a very anime aesthetic. I'm sure the box art for this version's probably better than the American version.
They usually are.
We'll find out when that comes, but I'm pretty excited. I always like having more fighting games, especially the Saturn ones. Sega was always really good about having solid fighting games and running really well on them. So, and they were a good price too. That's always, but I mean, most Sega Saturn imports are cheap, which is why I like them a lot. But next up, I finally got a Dreamcast game that I've wanted for a bit. Dino Crisis 1. Unfortunately, I don't get to have Dino Crisis 2 because it was only PlayStation 1. But I like Resident Evil. I like survival horror games. Have you played Dino Crisis?
I played it a little bit on PlayStation.
Yeah.
Not much. Honestly, not the biggest survival horror fan.
Fair enough. Port's pretty solid. Not like any major changes or improvements to the game. But,
which one's better, that one or the PlayStation?
This one's better just because it has better textures. Looks a little bit nicer, runs a little bit smoother.
Most Dreamcast versus PlayStation. Dreamcast is better.
Right. Well, it's a console generation. We'll say 3/4 of a console generation ahead of a PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
So you'd hope if it's not better, then they fucked up the development somewhere along the lines. Another game, speaking of which, that was ported from another version. I finally got Sonic 3D Blast for the Saturn. I actually like Sonic 3D Blast. It's generally not liked by a majority of Genesis fans or Sonic fans, but
You know who's a big Sonic fan that likes that?
Who?
My son. That's one of his favorite games.
Your son has good taste.
He's also 6.
Doesn't take effect he's got good taste.
That's true. He does have good taste.
The only difference between this and the Genesis port is they had a different special stage that kind of more utilized the graphics of the Saturn. Plays a lot like the Sonic 2 bonus
Let me
stage.
see those graphics.
You can see those graphics. And also it had
Whoa! Look at those graphics.
Graphics.
It is better than the Sega one, obviously.
You'd hope.
Those do look nice.
The music's also really good in that as well. It's full Red Book audio. And both the games have really good soundtracks, and they kind of get undermined because people don't like the game. But there are problems with that game, but I still like it. In fact, I like it enough that maybe a future episode of Hit Reset. Hint, hint. We'll see. But yeah, solid game. I was glad to get it. Wasn't super expensive, so I'm always glad for that. Speaking of super expensive, not super expensive, God, I can't talk, common games for CD-based systems, I got AH3 Thunderstrike for Sega CD.
Oh, Thunderstrike, based off the AC/DC song.
Yeah, Thunderstrike. You've been Thunderstriked. Please don't hit me with copyright notice, YouTube.
None of that was actually the real song. So
that was so out of tune it wouldn't even matter.
Yeah, we couldn't even try to be copywritten on that.
I don't like flight simulator combat games, even remotely. But
I don't either.
I'm close enough now to a complete Sega CD collection that I gotta start buying the cheap stuff that I don't tend to play as much. And the price was right. I got it with a few other games like Dino Crisis and stuff, and gotta get it out of the way at some point. Might as well get it while I can get it cheap.
That's right.
That's the thought. And it's all, it's got a couple cracks, but I mean, I'm not super picky about condition. I mean, as long as the manual was complete, as long as the disc didn't look like it had seen a shredder and the back art was there, I'm happy, man. And all of those things were met in that criteria, so things were good. I got two things, actually. I got a bunch of Sega Pico games. I'm just gonna say it ahead of time. Sega Pico, if you don't know, is like their like weird educational system that they came out with that like didn't do anything in America, but it's actually really popular in Japan, and I would love to do a video about like just like the crazy kind of stuff that came out in Japan for the Pico. But
Gunstar dropped out of school in 1st grade, so he's trying to get caught up.
I self-teach with these. It's great. It really helps.
Yeah.
Now, normally at a convention like this, I would not spend money on Pico stuff because it would probably be more money than it's worth, and I might as well try to get stuff that's a lot harder to come by. This guy offered 4 Sega Pico games, complete in box, in decent shape, for $1 a piece.
You can't beat that.
I'm not going to say no to that. I wish one of them was the Sonic game.
I don't care about Sega Pico because I don't have a Pico,
Yeah.
but I still wouldn't even say no to that.
Yeah, and I mean, most of them are like cool licensed stuff. Like one of them's, this one's really cool. It's Mickey's Blast in the Past. It's like Mario's Missing, but it's probably actually better. I would gamble. Or Mario's Time Machine is the one where you have to go different time periods.
Neither one of them is really good.
I'm still betting this is better. This one, like, I can do.
No, I'm saying Time Machine or...
Oh, well, yeah. But you get to go visit Thomas Edison.
It's already better.
Great. This is the fanfics they write themselves out of this game. So that was pretty cool. I was pretty pumped about getting some of that. So now I've got, like, 8 complete in box, which means I've probably got, like, half the U.S. library. So that's solid. I just knocked my camera right over. I don't even care. But the coolest item I got at the convention isn't actually... 2, actually, items that I got at the convention weren't games, per se.
One was spending time with me. That was number 1.
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't give up time with you for the world. I'm staying here later to make this video with you just because I like you that much.
That's right.
But, so this first thing is a promo item I had never seen before.
He means this number 2 thing, because number 1 right here.
They know. I would hope they know. If they haven't gotten that through their head at this point, then, I mean, we have a problem.
That's
but anyways, this is a promo item from some conventions, Wizard World conventions, for Space Channel 5. So it's a little lunchbox. You open it up, and this had a invitation.
Whoa, that thing's cool.
Yeah. It's I don't have a lot of this kind of promo stuff, and I actually want more of it. So like, even though it was a little more expensive than I probably would have liked to have spent
Wait, is that like the rhythm game, or is that the one where it's like okay,
up, down, chew, chew, chew.
Yeah.
It's ooh la la. They actually this is essentially an invitation to a party that Sega was holding for the game when it came out, and also came with an awesome ooh la la action figure. It's actually pretty nice quality, all things considered. I don't know how many of these they made for that convention. But it's for Wizard World Chicago 2001. There was a cool party. It was sculpted by Big Chief Studios. I don't know what else they've made, but I would assume that hopefully they're quality. But, yeah, so, I mean, I wonder if the invitation's still good. I wonder if I could take this back in time with me and hit up that party.
You mean forward in time?
No, this is...
No, but you're from the year 2777.
That's a crossover joke. You have to watch his video to get that.
Yeah.
So.
And also, if I sounded ignorant, like, knowing what game this is from, I, like, love Sega Genesis, but I just haven't really gotten too far into... I'm a Nintendo fanboy. But he's not going to hold that against me.
Not even remotely.
Because I don't hate on Sega.
No.
I'll
get to you in a minute about why I know you don't hate Sega.
I appreciate Sega.
He does.
I'm just not as into it as I am Nintendo.
Which is fair. But...
I do have some Sega knowledge.
I did.
Like this. Like,
I
mean, it's like...
But, to that end, I do have something Nintendo-related that I bought that I think goes back to our good friend, the Woodman.
Oh, the Woodman's what brought us all together.
I didn't know this existed. He actually told me when I got it what it was. I picked up a Mega Man 2 on vinyl soundtrack. This is the entire game's soundtrack on vinyl. And Mega Man 2 is one of my favorite games and one of my favorite soundtracks. So when I saw that somebody had this on the show floor, I'm like, I have to buy this. So where did this come from? What was the story behind this?
Okay, this came from Nintendo Age. A member of Nintendo Age did a limited edition of 250 of them. It was kind of like a pre-sale thing, where he doesn't actually sell them until he makes them. That's kind of like the rule with Nintendo Age. Yeah. So anyway, he wanted to see if there was interest. So he did 250 of them, had an amazing, overwhelming response. Sold out of 250 of them.
Yep.
They were originally, and I don't remember if shipping was included in this or not, but they were $25. I have no idea how much it costs to make a record, but I imagine with like a low print run, it's probably kind of expensive to make your own vinyl record. So
I don't know enough to say for sure, but
yeah.
I will say that I didn't pay much more than what it went for.
No, what you paid for is a really good, I guess, aftermarket price for that. It was not much more than $25.
And I mean, like, it's worth it to me because it will get used, it will get played, and it will be enjoyed. So
yeah,
I mean,
it was worth it for me too. I was super excited when I got mine, and my son loves it. Yeah. So
it'll get spun in a couple of days.
It's really good quality too. It sounds amazing.
I'm more than excited to hear it, but I'll have to wait a couple days. But anyways, so So the day of filming, when we're here now, Matty took me to his personal favorite game store, which was
Game Master's Realm.
Game Master's Realm. Very cool store out of Pittsburgh. It's in a suburb called where was it?
Hopewell, Pennsylvania.
Hopewell, Pennsylvania.
It's
I don't know
awesome.
why I felt the need to repeat that.
It's okay.
Emphasis.
That's right.
It was a cool little store they took me to. He got some good finds in it, and I also got a couple of things that I needed. I got 2 games, then one that kind of ties back into something else. But I got a copy of VR Troopers Complete in Box for a really good price. I already own the game in the box, but I didn't have a manual. This had a manual. I have so little games left that just need a manual in them until I'm back to having just all my games be complete in box, that I was like, I can choke a few dollars down today just to get that manual, and I'll get rid of the box copy to somebody who needs it or something as a gift. Not the bigger of the 2 things, but it's nice to finally have another game that I don't have to worry about trying to track down a manual on eBay or some other place. The more important thing, with one of the just most terrifying covers in gaming history...
It's Musha!
Yeah. It's terrifying because when you see it, your wallet just evaporates into dust immediately. It's Lawnmower Man, which, if I did movie reviews, I'd do a hit reset on that movie. But it's not movies that I do. I do games. And I don't know. I haven't played this in long enough that I couldn't tell you if I could do a hit reset. It may end up being terrible.
I guarantee this.
Okay.
The game is not as good as the movie.
Well, then we're already in trouble.
But I love the movie.
I like the movie too, but I know has a lot of faults. There's a lot of nostalgia that makes me like that movie.
I feel like if they did like a reboot of that movie, it would be awesome.
Oh, they'd fuck it up now. They'd find a way.
They probably.
I don't trust them. But anyways, I've wanted to get this game complete for a while. I haven't had it before at all, but I've wanted to get a hold of it. I have the copy of the Sega CD game, and I do want to do a video about this at some point. I'll have a million videos I want to do, but I wasn't going to do it until I had both versions. Now, I can do it when I have the time and it gets out of the queue line that is currently flowing through. The final thing I got is, so as you've seen in a couple videos before, Matty J works for 8-Bit Evolution, guys who have sent me a couple games to just review, talk about, all that kind of stuff. They do great work on their carts. They all look really nice. The labels are fantastic. Lots of good art. They do really good job with their manuals, boxes, me dropping things on camera. It's great. So there was one game I've been really trying to get a hold of for them because I wanted to do stuff on the Sega Channel for a while. And I was missing one game from that, and I finally managed to get them to get me a copy, which is Nightmare Circus. This game is the worst game on the Genesis, except for maybe Sword of Sedan, as far as what I've played. I mean, there might be a game I haven't played that's worse, but this is literally unfinished and unplaytested. I am 100% convinced of that.
I don't know if it's the worst game on the Genesis.
I'll give it this much: it has a creative concept. Because the idea is like you're this Indian Native American guy.
It's not good. I would say
awful.
it's not good.
I forget his name, and it's almost like very stereotypical. But he goes to an abandoned theme park, sort of Illbleed, and all these rides are like alive, and there's all these demons and stuff you gotta fight, and all like the level ideas are cool. Controls are broken. Glitchy beyond belief. You can't beat it without like tool assistance. It's a bad game, but for some reason. It actually had a like retail release in Brazil where Sega kind of reigned supreme for quite a long time, and for some reason Sega's like, yeah, put this up on Sega Channel's exclusive. It certainly wouldn't like downgrade our name by any means, But if you're gonna do a video on the history of Sega Channel and all the games, you kind of have to talk about Nightmare Circus. So, you know, it was nice to finally have a copy of this to be able to play and use for capturing.
One thing about that is our own original cover art.
Yeah, look at that clown. Still, like, I mean, you guys can, you know, tell us in the comments below, which one's more terrifying? Lawnmower Man, Nightmare Circus? Good competition right there.
They're both
two terrifying faces coming out at you.
Yeah. I think the clown is more terrifying than, like, the computer generated.
I don't know, the screaming of that is, like, nightmarish to me.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that's just me, personally. I mean,
Job
is, I can hear the voice right now.
Yeah.
I can hear him just yelling at the thing as it's just like, access denied, access denied. Yeah. We're almost turning into a review of Lawnmower Man, retrospective.
We can talk about Job the Magician.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna fake laugh and I just immediately fuck that entire thing up. But, yeah, so that was the pickups and a little bit of Pittsburgh Retro Gaming Con for you. So at the end of this, there's going to be a couple of YouTube channels that I met up with and talked to for a bit that are going to give you some spiel. They're really nice. I know the 1UP Cup guys did a thing for me. What was the podcast? Now You're Playing...
Now You're Playing with Podcast?
Yes. I would do is Now You're Playing, but I didn't want to say with Power Podcast or with Podcast. I didn't want to fuck it up. Now I didn't.
Yeah.
They both did a couple of, like, quick promos that they're cool enough. They're really good. They're quality stuff. So, and then, of course, I will probably pop up in some other people's YouTube stuff later on, but I'm not going to tell you about that. All I'm going to tell you is the Grimsy 42 Mountain Dew experience is probably going to be the viral hit sensation of the retro gaming community for quite a long time.
Yeah, it's like the John Denver experience, but totally different.
Look I'm not flying home today, so I don't think that's going to happen.
Okay.
Thankfully.
Okay.
But anyways, thanks for watching this. I know it's not, like, as usual, not technically my thing, but I like hanging out with friends and doing stuff, so that's why I did it, and I figured I'd talk about some cool stuff that might be on this channel in a more proper video soon. And again, if you haven't been keeping up, there's a new video over on Sega Bits for Scud the Disposable Assassin, my new hit reset series you can go check out.
I just watched it. I love it.
He does. He's gonna probably get that game now.
I love it. I would get that game if I had a...
Sega Sad?
Yeah.
You'll get there eventually. It'll happen.
It's a cool game.
The bug will bite you.
The review is great.
If you want to check out Matty J's videos, if you like this kind of video, he's way better suited for what you're looking for. So you should check out Matty J's channel.
I do this kind of thing.
A lot. You collect a lot of NES stuff. Maybe somebody stumbled on this thinking it was going to be Nintendo based, and now they can, get something out of this video.
I don't only collect Nintendo. I collect for everything. A cornucopia, if you will.
But NES is like his focus right now. He's only got a few games left, so he's really hunting down on that.
I have 12 games left for a complete collection.
So you can definitely check that out in a YouTube link right below, or probably there'll be a subscribe button hiding over here on the bottom of this video. We'll see where the editing takes me. And then otherwise, thanks for watching as always, guys. There's been a lot of buzz from, meeting some new people who have come check me out and from going to these cons and the Sega Bits videos. So just to anybody new who's watching this, I really appreciate every one of you. And by all means, feel free to, get at me on Facebook.
Thank you.
Comment, whatever. I'm always down to talk about Sega and retro and whatever. I'll talk about anything for like an hour. I just did it right now. Or
yeah.
At least 15 minutes.
We'll do that.
It's awesome. Thanks, guys. We'll see you later.
Howdy, I'm Becky from Now You're Playing with Podcast. We do a podcast. It's just like four of us being nerds. We did a complete retrospective of the 7800 and the Odyssey 2, and we just did all of the Space Invaders games, which is awesome. We're here. This is a great show. It's got a very good feel. It's been lots of fun. We're about to do Video Game Jeopardy.
Hi, Jeopardy, 10 minutes.
This is Chris. He's from our podcast. And
How you doing?
Hi, Chris.
Video Game Jeopardy.
YouTube, I think. Is
Yes.
this YouTube? Hi, YouTube.
Yay!
Check us out.
Yay!
Cool.
And
So-
then we've got one of the Intellivisionaries here too.
Yes.
He is representing Intellivisionaries.
Hey,
Hello.
He's a Pittsburgher.
we talk in television for long periods of time.
That's not something a lot of people talk a lot about for a lot of time,
That's
so
right.
I dig it.
Once a month.
Cool. So, since I have a flyer right here, I can show you this.
Flyer.
Yeah. Make it nice and fancy. Easy to find. Do it up.
Hey guys, Chris here from the 1UP Cup. Find us at youtube.com/user/the 1UP Cup. If you like LPs, we got LPs. If you like watching little short fat dudes get drunk and play video games, we got that. If you like competition shows, we got that. If you like funny stuff, If you like humor, if you like horror, any type of game, we got it. www.youtube.com/user/the1UpCup or www.oneup-cup.com.